was the Foo Fighters. Good morning. The Foo Fighters. You know what they're named after? UFOs. Do 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 do. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is where we ended. Foreseen Beyond Time the other day was error, system failure, belief system failure. Remember in the Matrix, number 1-1, and it ends in 1-1, 11-11. Remember the Matrix, the system failure at the end of the first one, when Neo says, "I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see." Neo the One, Jesus Christos Horus. And then in Lost, remember, Desmond, system failure, which brought the Flight 815 down, 8 plus 15, 23. Lost has John Locke, Matrix has Commander Locke. Jack is Neo. Dr. Jack Shepard is Neo in Lost. Neo from the Matrix in Lost. Both of those have their origins in Philip K. Dick's VALIS, V-A-L-I-S, Vast Active Living Intelligence System, which has its origin in The Man Who Fell to Earth, starring David Bowie, 1976. Sophia is 2. She was born in 1976. If your idea of thinking is simply reshuffling your banal opinions and your biases around, who cares what you think? You ever thought, maybe I don't really think? Maybe I'm just shuffling around all the programs that have been installed in my brain. This is what most people are doing. Most people. Thank God I'm not most people. Page 98, Foreseen Beyond Time. Can't look in the mirror and be honest about the situation we're in and admit that you're enslaved by money, by finance, that you're being forced to pay to live, that there's a dollar sign on your life, cost of living. If you can't be honest about that and clear and direct with yourself, you're living a lie. Whereas if you're honest, you can look in the mirror and admit it. You're enslaved. You're a slave, Neo. You're being harvested for your electrical energy. You're a human resource on a global people farm. Then you start walking into truth, and you start being real. Stop being Pinocchio. Your nose stops growing. You're no longer a liar of the corpsorate system. You're no longer a puppet of a corporation. Most people are puppets of corporations, and they can't be honest. Ever. They cannot be of one mind. H-O-N-E-S-T being one. They're always two. They're duplicitous. They believe the two eyes of lies, what they see. With their two eyes, they have no connection to their inner eye. They're drinking fluoridated water from the tap. Hey, if you think it's a good idea to go to be drinking tap water, oh, it's America and my water's clean. I can drink the tap water. You're putting fluoride right into your mainlining fluoride, sodium fluoride, a rat poison, a neurotoxin, which causes docility and passivity. You think that's green? Yeah, it's green, it's naive, it's in that sense. Page 98. The interesting thing about the gospel phenomenon, and by extension all these other Gnostic rediscoveries, which is officially a codex and not a gospel, is that Judas was not part of the system of disinformation of the psychological operation known as religion. the psychological operation known as religion, mind control. The fragmentation of the true, the original teachings of the sages, whether they came from India, Tibet, or Atlantis, and what it really means, will be rectified through implementing a bridge of time from the original line into the future cultures of humans on Earth. The sages knew that their friends had no clue who they really were or where they really came from, since they had come to them from beyond the space-time continuum. Today, by the way, is Thursday, Thor's Day, Force Day, Jesus, Jupiter, Zeus, Horus Day, deity, September 13th, 9/1/3/2018, 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 2 is 15, plus 0 is 15, plus 1 is 16, plus 8 is 24, 24 hours, H-O-U-R-S, H-O-R-U-S, hours, Horus, Horus Day, Thor's Day, Force Day. Talor woke from a psychic review. First, I'll just repeat this paragraph because it's huge. The sages knew that their friends had no clue who they really were or where they really came from, since they had come to them from beyond the space-time continuum. Talor woke from a psychic review to consider that the masters of reality were teaching not only that we came from the stars, but that the many forces around the earth were of extraterrestrial origin, some of who were of the spiritually advanced kind from the future. Those who understood the original teaching were overthrown through violence. Their cultures and their knowledge were destroyed. Violence, by the way, is violation. Their cultures and their knowledge were destroyed. There existed a basic truth that some control groups did not want passed. There existed a basic truth that some control groups did not want passed from generation to generation. The sages in Aramea signaled, "The illusion is over." That was 2,000 years ago as the age of Pisces dawned. In association with that phenomenon, the Draco, reptilians, the Archons, or the Greys, began to rewire the hard drive interface of the human racial memory. The anti-reality controllers, following the protocols of the Dark Lords, wound up messing around with the human DNA sequence. A fear-based Trojan horse mass mind control project was implanted into the human genetics to make sure that the natural DNA configuration did not return to its original form, creating sovereign human beings. The error in the mind of man is what we call the ego. The soul, which exists as a dynamic, non-physical quantum field, interfaces with your physical form in a similar way you interface with physical biological operating system. The creator of all that is set up the original system within the DNA. Much later, the reptilians came along and hacked into the system code, which is kind of what happened. Here we are now 2,000 years later. Remember, this was written in 2007. We're in 2018. 20 times 18, 360. Here we are now, 2,000 years later. We are approaching yet again the famous Pluto-Uranus alignment of 2,000 years ago. By 2048, we are within reach of the original light code. A new eon dawns in 2048. As the Pisces age of belief becomes the Aquarius age of knowing. Knowing is in the middle, belief is the right hemisphere. Thinking is the left hemisphere. Knowing transcends that dualism. Ends the trance, the spell of El on the people. The Pisces age of belief becomes the Aquarius, Aqua Osiris. Aquarius is Aqua Osiris. Pisces is P Isis. Osiris and Isis, husband and wife, masculine, feminine. Aquarius, Pisces. With the water bearer pouring knowledge of cosmos over this realm. This is a living medicine sign. over the 12 astrological ages, known in the timeless codex as eons. Eons. Each one has its own awareness. At each stage of your astrological development over many lifetimes, known as levels of incarnations, your soul is clicking on files, some of them super sensitive, and as you click around, you are opening them up and working on them. You are akin to an internet connection into the real World Wide Web of life, allowing the soul to connect, communicate, and interact with a hyper-reality. This is what QRC 2137 was perhaps all about. Someone or something wants to disrupt the soul communication network. And so they spread their designer virus, they hack into the operating system. This makes it hard for us to use and develop the network given at sovereign birth. Sovereign. Self-reign. Self-rule. Autonomy. Autonomos. Self-law. The corrupted operating system is the ego, the me. Self-importance. The virus is fear as time. Thought as experience creates the thinker. Study the Krishnamurti principle. Thought and thinker are one. Hare Krishna, Namaste, Hallelujah. Krishnamurti said, if you are well adjusted to a profoundly sick society, you are also profoundly sick. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Stop being well adjusted to this society and its thinking. Free your mind. Hare Krishna, Namaste, Aloha, Hallelujah.